So Elite 8 are going to have to show their hand first. They're going to have to pick up their carry or their jungler. They're going to go Petal Ban, so that's very similar to what I was expecting, except they haven't picked the call. They've just left it open, available for them second pick. Now, I think a cool ban wouldn't be very smart from Impunity, because that means Rhyme's still open, still free to be picked up alongside that Lance. So I think they leave both of them open. If they happen to get Gruul, you can still get Rhyme. That will still be a really good hero, despite it not being the best against Gruul. I think they're in a really tough position if they ban Gruul away here.
Yes, we will have to see. They're going a fair bit into their bonus time, really putting the thought into these bans, and they went for that Crow ban you were talking about. So now, really, it does open the option up to Rhyme being picked up, because I'd think the only real counter to Rhyme in a lot of situations would be going up against him with that Crow.
Yeah, that does seem to be the best Rhyme counter this meta, is just pick Gruul and try and 1v1 him. So I would have expected Elite 8 to pick that Rhyme straight away, but they're not going to go for it. They want to secure Kestrel instead. And so maybe they didn't want to pick Rhyme themselves. And if they'd have picked anything else, you let over Arden, Rhyme, Kestrel, arguably one of the strongest comps this patch. They didn't want to let that through. They're going to pick the Kestrel versus Vox. Pretty even matchup. I favour Kestrel, but with an Arden, Vox could be okay. And last pick Rhyme's still available, but there's a couple of other things they might want to go. Maybe an Alpha or a Reza to dive in on that Kestrel.
Yeah, I think in this case, because the Arden isn't on the side of Elite 8, Alpha could be a very good pickup, easily able to get onto the backline and get the damage off, but they're going to go for the Samuel pick instead. This could be maybe thinking that the side of Elite 8 want to finish their comp off with a Rhyme, and in, I guess, predicting that, Impunity decide that they want to just get Samuel so he can stay away from the fight. So it's kind of interesting that no one's really gone and touched Rhyme. I could understand Rhyme would have difficulty getting onto Kestrel when going up against the Lance, and that's the difference between if you were to pick the Alpha can easily bypass that a lot of the time. But they do go for the Samuel, and it looks like Elite 8 going to finish it off with a Rhyme pick. So not a bad comp coming out from either side. They've got a lot of lockdown and, I guess, peel potential for that Kestrel on the side of Elite 8. And then just a fairly well-balanced team for the side of Impunity and good scaling overall.
Yeah, Impunity going for double poke, trying to just keep their distance away from this Rhyme. Samuel does do really well against Rhyme if you play it correctly. We might even see a Frostburn on Samuel, something we don't see an awful lot on any carries. But on Crystal Power Samuel, it's really good to keep this Rhyme at bay, keep him at his distance, because you don't need the damage. If you have the Frostburn, if you can keep Rhyme away from you, you win the fight. You don't need any damage, really, as long as you have a couple of Crystal Power items. So I think that we could see that on the Samuel. We might still see Dragon's Eye into Clockwork. That's a seemingly common Samuel build. Works great. He builds up his Dragon's Eye stacks, and with Clockwork, he can have an almost constant Drifting Dark because that cooldown reduction. So that's a really interesting way to play this Samuel. I do really like what Elite 8 have drafted, though. They have what they didn't want to let through, which was the Rhyme Kestrel combo. They picked it up themselves. With a Lance, it's not protection for Kestrel, but it's engaged for Rhyme. So I have to favour what Elite 8 have got in this draft. It's just so much, it seems so much stronger than what Impunity have picked up. And so I think this Rhyme will be able to pretty much just kill this Samuel quite early on.
I think the difference we're looking at here is Elite 8 will be quite single-targeted focused on going off the back of Impales coming out from Lance, whereas, as you mentioned before, Impunity really going for that poke kind of comp and just whittling down the enemy, and more so into the mid-late game once they get those items such as the breaking point that we know is so infamous on the Vox, that it's just really going to help them stack up throughout those fights as long as they don't get caught out.
Yeah, but we are now loading into the house to unfold for the first game of the day. Let us know which team you think is going to win in the chat. Is it going to be Impunity or is it going to be Elite 8? We're kind of split on the desk, so we're going to have to find out what these teams are going to go for. I think early game, it's probably going to be quite defensive from both sides. I don't expect any level 1 invades towards the backs. So it looks like both teams are going to start with their backs and captains. Just going to have a little handshake in the middle.
Now, I'm surprised that the side of Elite 8 didn't decide to just rush for this outer treant in the middle of the map, because knowing that Samuel would definitely need his level 2 before he really gets that power spike, they could have taken advantage of that and tried to go for it early. I mean, you've already got the Glimmer Shots and the Winter Spire. I think that's enough damage, and Anime Save Me could try his best to keep Quarterball off that outer treant with the Impale, but no, it looks like they're going to have to fight for it instead. And in this situation, I rarely see Impunity now having the advantage, with Queasy going to have the Drifting Dark available to him, but not if he's just mucking around, not able to take the fronts, and Elite 8 will just get that outer treant uncontested. I'm not sure if Minima's having some connection issues, but we do see here a lot of poke coming down early from the side of Impunity, and they are really going in there. But it's going to be Queasy going back, just get impaled, so it's going to be cancelled in that case. But Quarterball is there with the Vanguard just to get him out. They might be able to steal away the mids from Rhyme, but no, he will spot them, and Quarterball just having to back off from that one.
Yeah, so a nice couple of impales from Anime Save Me, trying to get some early ganks in lane, but it's not quite going to happen. I think it makes sense for Elite 8 to do this not aggressive rotation, because they have got a quite a bit stronger level 2, with Kestrel having those, having the active camo, Rhyme having the chill winds really helps him stick on top of the target. But I do agree, they could have gone just straight towards the enemy jungle, because you know Samuel's not going to fight you at level 1. Fox, if he fights you at level 1, either has a sonic zoom, or resonance bounces. You can't have both. So they certainly would have been stronger at the level 1 team fight, but maybe not quite trusting themselves enough to go for it. And Kestrel is doing quite well. Picked my heavy silhouette, so he's hurting his gunners. But all 2 members of Impunity in lane.
And we do see Impunity so lane focused right now, just constantly pushing this wave up and using the Drifting Dark to their advantage. You can see the early damage they're getting off it onto Anime Save Me, already very low, just tanking up those shots. And I don't think it's such a bad idea, because then Impunity decide to go with the rotation of bringing Death Q into jungle to collect the ambient farm, or in that case wasn't able to, since Quarterball was nearby and the lane already pushed up. But look at this, Official Hein waiting, might be able to steal this one, and I think he got it. Yes, Official Hein able to steal it with the Winter Spire, gets the outer treant.
That's really bad for Queasy. He needed that for energy, so he's forced to go back to his jungle. Cannot keep the same pressure up. Impale does miss.
Yep, Anime Save Me not able to land it, but this is the reverse push from Elite 8, now putting the pressure in their favor. However, not really able to land as much turret damage. I take that back as Hanyega's doing their good with those bomber shots. So fairly even right now, and DefQ does get impaled, but there's going to be the Drifting Dark from Queasy. They're going up with the Malice Verdict, and a lot of shots landing onto Official Hein on that back line, and now forcing Elite 8 to stand back a bit. I think, as you said, Impunity just going to have the stronger poke, and definitely in the early game having the advantage there, as long as they don't get caught out. Anime Save Me looking for opportunity, but at this point just trying to keep his turret safe as the carries back.
Yeah, it looks like he won't be able to do so. I think Impunity will either get the kill on Anime Save Me or get the turret. But no, they're going to leave him. They respecting the fact that Kestrel's ported, and he's not managed to quite keep all the minions away, but done well to stop that turret falling, and Kestrel can be happy, because I think Elite 8 were accepting that turret loss if Anime Save Me did get caught out. I'm surprised that Official Hein isn't being more aggressive into the jungle. He's pretty much taking his own rotation, getting some elders, coming up to lane to try and fight Samuel. But he shouldn't fight in lane. Official Hein is way better in these jungle fights where he can catch out Samuel. Whereas in lane, Samuel can just outpoke him, and it's going to be really tough for Rhyme.
Yeah, it will be tough indeed, but Rhyme able to steal a bit of farm back. You saw previously Queasy actually stealing the middle camp of Official Hein away from him, so he was able to get the front. Maybe not such an even trade out, but if we look at farm overall, Official Hein at 31 and Queasy sync back at 27, so just slightly behind him. By the fact Official Hein was able to get some early outer treants. There's going to be the Vainglory coming out early, as they were putting a lot of damage onto Quarterball, but he's quite tanky, and DefQ at the moment has that poison shift picked up for himself, and just continuing to to push Elite 8 out of his lane. There's Anime Save Me with the Gimpy and wants to try to stop Queasy's advance, but the Malice and Verdict going to pick up the first blood onto Kestrel, and now they really will get the turret off the back of this.
Samuel being allowed to stay inside his drifting. Anime Save Me tried to get him back with the Gideon wall. Didn't quite get him into turret, so Samuel stayed inside that. Turret is going to go down, and I don't think Impunity are going to get much more, but they're definitely slightly ahead, about 1,000 gold. Queasy is being allowed to just post on the Samuel for so much more than what Honyekis is being able to do on the Kestrel. I think Official High needs to be more aggressive. He needs to try and fight Samuel, because if he lets Samuel poke, Rhyme has absolutely nothing. I'm seeing actually it's an Evil Harvest first on Queasy, so he's running out of energy. Picking that up does make sense given how many crystal bits he's got. But I am surprised he's not gone for Dragon's Eye or Frostburn first, given how stacking Samuel is and how long the fight's going to go on for.
Yeah, I agree with you there, and the fact of have to hold that for a second as the Pale does land onto PC. This could be a turn of tides. He's trying to get on that, but there's going to be the fountain keeping the side of Impunity alive. Look at this, there's going to be Oblivion dropping down, puts Prime to sleep, Fox picks up the kill onto Kestrel, and with the help of Quartervore going to take out that Rhyme as well. Queasy, of course, on the backline, just constantly putting the poke down. And it goes back to the statement you made that we'd like to have seen Rhyme be a bit more aggressive early game. If Elite 8 were able to land some successful ganks earlier before the fountain was up, they probably would have been able to secure some kills just between the CC they have of that Pale and Baru coming out from Chill Winds. But this Anime Save just able to hit those Impales, kind of difficult targets to do so, I must say. The Samuel and Box pickup being both very mobile and good counter picks into the Avalanche.
Yeah, he can get the Impale quite easily on Arden, but as you said, Box will dodge most of them, and Samuel is quite elusive. He doesn't have any movement abilities, any speed bonuses, but he can dodge around you because he's going to be he doesn't stand still for any of his abilities except for his B ability, which is Drifting Dark. He can move around after he's used Oblivion, move around in the Malice and Verdicts. So he is much harder to hit than, say, a Celeste would be when she's constantly standing still to try and land those Helios. So yeah, it was a good pick against Anime Save Me's Lance. He's still working towards Crucible, but I'm really interested in how much damage Defq was able to do onto Honyekis. He only had a Poison Shiv and Heavy Steel for damage, and he was just shredding through Honyekis on this Kestrel, and you'd expect in a 1v1 Kestrel should easily be able to outdamage Rock. But wow, he's outdamaged Samuel there.
Yep, he has indeed, and gets away with his life. So that's more what I'd like to see from Elite 8, just this explosive burst power that they can really bring. They just need the opportunity to get that damage down onto the enemy, which we were talking about, mostly lying in the hands of Anime Save Me to get the Impale off onto Defq, but you see he's not able to do it there, and Defq just going to turn the fire around. There's the Gauntlet coming out from Quartervore. Defq gets the kill onto Kestrel, is building up the stacks on the breaking point, going to pick up a double kill, but no, does not fall to the frost of that Rhyme, so the damage over time not going to pick him up, and he gets out of there alive. And now Impunity going for the gold mine, and they're already ahead by 2 objectives by getting those turrets, and they're going to make it even more. Defq, 1 shot, 1 kill. I was worried he might step on the scout trap, but that didn't kill him, and the 1 shot, 1 kill didn't kill him, and he's still alive. Defq just living on the edge of life. But look at that Anime Save Me going in with the Impale for the steal. No one really going to do anything to stop him there, and now Impunity probably have to back out this fight, but I could be wrong, as Defq just shredding through the Rhyme so quickly. There's the Drifting Dark coming through by Queasy. He's gonna follow up onto the Kestrel, but it's in a 1v1. Kestrel going to take that fight, winning the kill, and Defq low on energy. I'm not sure if it's such a smart idea to try hunt down the Kestrel.
Go for it, Jaegers. Go for it, Kestrel. You've got this, no question. He's not going to go for it. He's a bit scared. The Vanguard from Arden would probably keep Vox alive, so he's smarter than I am. I would have gone and killed myself for that Kestrel, for that Vox, sorry. But hey, Official Highness back up, so Defq's going to back off now as well. Nice fight for Elite 8. They get the gold mine, even though they trade 1 for 1. That's good. That means that they're not losing all of these fights. They know Vox is such a menace at the moment. Kestrel's going really low. I'm not quite sure why Honyekis picked up shield, because Vox is being the main problem. Rhyme's trying to get on top of Samuel. Kestrel can easily 1v1 Samuel. That's not a problem. But Kestrel can't manage to 1v1 this Vox at the moment. If he gets a couple of breaking point stacks, going to manage to outdamage Honyekis. So it's looking good for Impunity, but that fight was not too bad for Elite 8. And we're seeing the Dragon's Eye second item on Samuel. So it makes sense because the fights are really going to last long enough for him to build that up on Rhyme, then turn his attention to Kestrel.
Yeah, and that's the thing that Elite 8 really have to worry about. It's who exactly do we actually jump on? Because a lot of the time, if you want to get this box out of the picture first, then it's going to be Quisi on the backline, as you said, now with that Dragon's Eye just building up those stacks and generally being quite a nuisance with the AoE damage, well, and the Drifting Dark and Malice and Verdicts coming out of that. And so it's a problem that if you jump onto Samuel, Def Q, who's already being such a monster in these fights, is just going to get those stacks that much more freely.
Yeah, I think the target focus for Rhyme still has to be Samuel in general, because Vox has that Sonic Zoom, can cut away from him, whereas Samuel will be in a lot more trouble, especially once Samuel uses Drifting Dark aggressively. Rhyme just boots in. Even if you don't quite kill Samuel, you force him out of his Drifting Dark, so he does way less damage, and that is basically a win condition for this fight. Yes, Vox will be annoying, but you've just got to hope that your fortified health is enough to tank that Vox hit, then you can switch your target focus onto him after you've managed to take that Samuel down, because he will be doing way more poke than Vox will if he's not focused with such long range on those Malice and Verdicts.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, that Impunity have just put up a really good composition against what Elite 8 picked, and I think it's smart of them to go for that Arden pick first. Look at what Elite 8 were kind of going towards, and they even, I talked about, they predicted by picking up that Samuel, pushing Elite 8 into the Rhyme pick that is still available, and just look at this poke coming through by Impunity. Even though Cordovar getting rooted there is going to go in with the Gauntlet, going in with the Echoed Gauntlet, picking up the kill onto Lance. Official Hind just hiding under his turret here, but the whole team of Impunity trying to push in onto him. Cordovar tanking it up. They will take it down, but DefQ needs to be careful to get out of this fight while he's ahead, or I could have spoken too soon. They pick the ace up as Rhyme is on the edge of the base, doesn't get the healing he needs, and Impunity could even look to end it here. They are going so aggressive. There's the Drifting Dark, the Malice and Verdicts coming through, but Kestrel going to be able to get the Invis off to get back to base, and now looking to stop this, but Vox so built up, just going through everything here, picking up the Kestrel, picking up the turret, might even look for the next one. Impunity just looking for the game. Official Hind not able to get the damage he needs for the fortified health will fall, the turret will fall, and Kestrel not even up for another 3 seconds. Impunity going to take this game. Lance can't even jump in there. He will get mounted instantly. There goes the crystal, and oh my god, Impunity won this quicker than I could have imagined.
Yeah, that's quicker than some of the Saw games we're seeing so far. And wow, I think is the best way to put that. Impunity pushing when you would not expect against a Rhyme and a Kestrel. You think, yeah, they've got quite a nice early game power spike. Kestrel, once she gets a Solar Blade, is going to hurt. Once she gets that Times Monocle, it's going to hurt quite a lot. But Vox, DefQ is just playing so